Hey guys, Mr. Gratzel here. Today we're going to get into the fundamentals of graphic design. Before we can draw and hit the computer, we need to understand how to compose your design, and it all starts with the elements of design. Elements of design are the building blocks of everything we do in art, from drawing to painting to graphic design, even to film. The first element of design we're going to look at is line. Line is a continuous mark made on a surface by a moving point. Lines can be used in a variety of ways. They can be thick or thin, close together, far apart. They can be wavy, they can be jagged, they can be diagonal, or they can be horizontal and vertical. They can even be wavy and move around quite a bit. Next is the element of shape. Shapes are an enclosed space, and it's limited to 2 dimensions, so it's flat in nature. There are 2 types of shapes that we're going to talk about specifically. There's geometric shapes, which are your triangles, squares, circles, things you see in your math class or geometry class, hence geometric. The other type are organic shapes. They're more natural, they're free form. You see them in nature, the shape of a leaf, the shape of a saguaro cactus, even the silhouette of a figure. All of these are organic and natural, and they're just kind of free-formed shapes. The third element we're going to talk about is space. Space is the distance or area between and around or within things that you see in your design. In design, it can refer to the white space or empty space around an object. This is very important when it comes to written design, brochures, and even posters. And it can play a lot in the principles of design, which we'll talk about later, specifically on emphasis. Also, the positive or negative space is really important as well. Positive space is the actual object itself. The negative space is the shape that's created from the open spaces, either between 2 objects or cut out through a shape. The next element of design is texture. Texture refers to the feel of an object. Now in design, you can't really actually feel it, but it gives the illusion of some kind of a texture. Texture can be created using pattern designs, so repeating shapes, and it gives the illusion of a texture, or it can actually mimic real texture. Like if you wanted to make something look shiny, you would use shapes to show the white little shine on a balloon, maybe show some shapes that are darker to show a shadow that's there, so it can make it look 3D and realistic. And the last element we're going to talk about today is color. Color is the amount of light that's reflected or refracted off of an object. So light plays a really important role in color. Color incorporates the hue, the saturation, and the value range that we see in colors. The color wheel is a valuable tool to help you decide what colors to use and which are going to be the most effective. There are different groupings of color that can be used. The first is analogous colors. Analogous colors are 2 to 4 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. They can be anything having a warm feeling or a cool feeling. You might understand some of these colors, orange and red and yellow, kind of have a warm feel like fall, or if you think of hot, you think of red. They can also have a very cool or calming feeling like blue and green and purple. Those colors are all next to each other. You think of snow and it's kind of a bluish tint to it, the shadow, or the cold water on your faucet, which is blue. Complementary colors are those colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. Orange and blue is an example of color wheels that are across from each other. Purple and yellow, and green and red. So when you think of those, you think of Christmas with green and red, and you see a lot of those color combinations in logo designs and even sports teams because they work really well together and they grab people's attention. Monochromatic is another form of color combinations, and that's one single color, but it's the whole value range. So it's adding white and black into that one color to create a variety of mid-tones throughout. Well, that's all the elements of design, but in the next session, we're going to talk about how to use those elements to compose your work of art through principles of design. Thanks for watching, guys.